Hello, parishioners. God bless you. Today's day 82. Bible in a year. We're looking at Joshua chapters 5 through 7. And in chapter 5, we have the fact that Joshua was kind of a superior leader to Moses because Moses failed and kind of neglected to circumcise the Israelites of the new generation as they were being born. To those kind of scaredy cat, faithless members of the first generation of Israelites who had to wander for 40 years. And obviously they might not have had, sterile conditions in their desert wanderings or sharp knives to be able to do circumcision. And anyway, they failed to do it. Well, Joshua did it. Finally, the Lord gave a command, and he was told to make flint knives. Now they had some flint, and they could make some surgical instruments to be able to do this procedure. And they did this procedure, which was seen as kind of something sanitary and something that kept them different from other nations and kind of cut away the uncleanness, they thought, of pagan nations and lands. And so they did that. And so it's kind of like the fact that St. Paul says that baptism is the new circumcision, and we in the New Testament, we're supposed to circumcise our hearts. So Joshua represents Christ, who brings a new and better covenant, so that now we are purified. And coming into the promised land, you've got to be purified in a certain way. So that's what that certainly represents. As they entered into the land of Canaan, they celebrate the Passover, as it says, on the 14th day, verse number 10 of chapter 5. And once they did the Passover ritual, then they ate the produce of the land, it said, that now they were gathering or harvesting crops, and so they are no longer going to get the manna, so no more manna. So this really is a sign of like heaven. In heaven, we're not going to go to Mass, right? We're not going to have the 7 sacraments the same, because we'll have the reality. We won't have the efficacious signs that were kind of like food for the journey and preparation for heaven. When we get to heaven, there'd be no temple in the city, as it says in Book of Revelation. We're going to have the reality. We're going to have God. We're going to, commune and have a banquet with God, and so that's it's very appropriate. Therefore, that they for 40 years in the desert on the way in the wanderings, it's kind of like the journey of life. We have the sacraments. We have the manna, which is the Eucharist. But once we get to heaven, we're just going to have the pure Paschal feast, the banquet, the Passover. And so that's what kind of is symbolized there. In verse number 15, we see that Joshua takes off his shoes because it's a holy ground. And that's just like what Moses did at the burning bush. And so, again, Joshua is this new Moses. And then they conquer Jericho. Jericho is actually what they say is the oldest city in the world. And it's also the lowest city in the world, right? Big cities are often kind of low in morality and such. But Jericho was, it's way down by the Dead Sea. And it's, I don't know how many, like maybe 200 feet below sea level. So it's the oldest and the lowest city in the whole world. And anyway, it was destroyed at this time by the Israelites who came. And it's a symbol of, God destroying the old world, or a symbol of the end of the world, and that God's kingdom will conquer the old kingdoms. And there's one woman who is saved with her family, and that's this harlot, Rahab. Rahab is saved because she's told, as we know, to put a scarlet, a red cord or ribbon to mark her window. And they recognize that, and so she is spared, and they allow her to live. And that's a symbol of course, of the blood of Christ. It's always, marking your doorposts with the blood of the Lamb or with something red. It's another symbol in the Old Testament of the fact that we're saved by the blood of Christ.